Hi math friends, today we're looking at our Systems of Equations test review. So let's check out how we're doing here. Alright, we need to check out first, do we have one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions? So to help us out here, we have to remember that a solution is where we have an intersection point. So for example, this one on the side here, all the way on the right, these two lines intersect only once. So this one will say one solution. And I want to look at that really carefully with us too and highlight what we're looking at. So we're looking at this line here and this line here. So where the yellow crosses the orange, they cross once, that's where they intersect. All right, let's go back to the beginning now. Look at these two lines. I know I'm not highlighting them perfectly straight, but these two lines, they're parallel. They will never intersect. So that actually means no solution. All right, the other one that we could have, so I have this purple line here, and then I have that black line. Those two lines are always intersecting. So if that happens, we're going to say infinitely many solutions. All right, look at the other one similarly. So these are, again, these are parallel, so this one is no solution. And then we should be able to identify these simply by looking at them. One solution, infinitely many. This one, these red and blue lines, they cross once, so one solution. And then again, we have parallel lines, so no solution. All right, now let's look at how do we graph a system. So look at the form they're in. These are in slope-intercept. So I'm going to identify, I have m here, this -1 over 2. And I also have b here, this -1. All right, recall to graph these. We start at b, begin with b, -1. Then we move with m, so down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And then I'm going to use my ruler or straight edge if I'm doing this on paper to connect these. A little bit off, but we can fix it. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and use, go ahead and graph the other one. So the other one, our b is going to be -4, and our slope is going to be 1/4. So I'm going to begin with b, 1 at -4, go up 1, right 4, and I'll be here, and I'll create my other line here, and we can see that they intersect right at that point. So this one has one solution. We don't want to just say one solution, we want to say what is that solution. So x value first and then y, 4, -3. Same idea with the next one. We have y equals -1, so that's going to be a horizontal line at -1. All right, and let's check out our other one. It says -5 halves x plus 4, so we start at 4. Begin with b, and then we're going to move with m down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right 2. Remember, don't look for shortcuts. We need to count there. All right, so let's go ahead and make our line through here. And our point intersects here perfectly. Again, there's one solution here. Let's go ahead and write it. It's going to be 2 for x, comma, -1 for y. All right, now we have some systems. This says by substitution or elimination. So look at how they're set up. This first one is set up for elimination because we got our equal signs in order, y's, x's, constants. And then remember for this, I'm looking at 6 and -6. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. We have this plus 6y, and we also have this -6y. So we're looking at those because we can get 0 there. Since one's positive and one's negative, we can get 0 by adding these equations. So if I add those, I get no more y's. I get 3x. And here I get 18 plus -24, I get -6. So then I can solve this. So I need to divide by 3, divide by 3. I'm going to get x is -2. And then I need to substitute that in for one of the original equations. I'm going to choose the first one. I usually like to choose ones that have less negative signs if possible. So 9 parentheses -2. And then rewrite the rest of that equation. So I'm going to have a plus 6y equals 18. And then we'll go ahead and solve this. So multiply, I get -18. And the rest I'm going to leave alone first. Plus 6y equals 18. Now I need to remove that -18, so I'm actually going to add 18. And we have to do that to both sides, plus 18 plus 18. So I'll end up with 6y equals 36. And then I need to divide by 6. And I'll end up with y equals 6. So now we need to write our solution. So that's showing all of our work. Our solution should be x comma y. So -2 comma 6. All right, so let's check out the next one here. And these are not lined up for elimination. So it looks like this one we'll have to use substitution. So remember when we do that, we'll go ahead and highlight here. This says y equals 5x minus 7. I want that to substitute in for y in the second equation. So the way we'll write this is we'll rewrite the second equation, but when we get to y, we're going to replace it with what we highlighted. So I'll go ahead and put 5x minus 7 and also write it in blue so we can see what changes there a little bit easier. Equals -12. All right, now when you distribute here, this is where we might make a mistake that can change everything. We distribute a -2 here. All right, so I'm going to have -10 or minus 10x and a plus 14 here. If you did this and you got a minus 14, that tiny mistake can make everything different at the end here. So we're going to make sure to be really careful with that. And over on this side, we still got a -12. All right, so now we combine like terms, -3 and minus 10, we get -13x. We have this plus 14 still, and we have a -12 over here. So now we need to do some inverses here. So I need to do a minus 14, minus 14, I do that on both sides. And then we're going to get 13x, or -13x. See, we got to be careful there. Equals -26. I'm actually going to rewrite this over here because it looks like we're running out of room here. Perfectly fine to do. I'm just going to rewrite it as it was. 13x equals -26. So solving there, now we need to only divide. So divide by -13. I'm going to get x equals 2. Now we also have to find y. Luckily, we already got this first equation where y is already by itself. So y is already isolated, 5 times 2 minus 7. So then I need to do that. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 7, I get 3. So now I have x and y, and I can write my final answer. I can write 2 comma 3. All right, we have one more system to solve here, and this one looks like it's set up for elimination, so I'm going to think to myself, -4 and -2, I can't get 0 from those. -4 and -4, I can get 0. They're the same number, so I'm going to subtract this time. -4 minus -2, I'm going to get -2x. The y's will zero out, and 12 minus 12, I get 0. So divide by -2, divide by -2. Oh, and I should have drawn my line down the equal sign, right? So I get x equals 0. So now I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's just say the first equation. So negative 4, and instead of x, we'll write 0. Minus 4y equals 12. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. So then I only have negative 4y equals 12. Then I need to divide by the coefficient there, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. Then I get y equals negative 3. And then I have my solution x comma y, 0, comma, negative 3. All right, we have a couple of word problems here too. This first one says a cable television subscription costs $55 a month. A satellite television subscription costs $40 per month plus an installation fee of $200. All right, so I need to define my variables here. So I'm going to have x equals number of months. This is going to help me understand the problem better. And y equals our cost. So I'm going to have two things. I'm going to have the cable TV subscription first. So I'm going to go ahead and type in that. So the cost for the cable TV in black, y equals $55 a month. And there's no extra fees for that, so only $55 a month. Now we'll look at the other one. The satellite one is $40 a month plus an installation fee of $200. All right, so when I look at this one, this is actually set up for elimination or substitution. You can use either way. I would go ahead and use substitution here because we can put in 55x in for y in the second equation. So when you substitute that in, we're going to go ahead and have, I'm going to use the same colors here, 55x equals, and on the other side of the equation, we've got 40x plus 200. So now when we solve this for x, the number of months, we're going to subtract the 40x because we have x's on both sides of the equation here. So here we're going to have 15x equals what's left over here, 200. All right, and then we're going to have to divide. So divide by 15. Divide by 15. And I'm actually going to get 13 and a third. So 13, we're going to round that to 13.33. So that's how many months we have for these to break even. Let's go ahead and find the y value then. So I'm going to choose the first equation because this first equation doesn't have anything to add. Might go a little bit quicker. So let's go y equals 55. And instead of x, we'll use our 13 and a third. And I'm going to end up with 733 and a third. All right, so mathematically, our answer is x comma y. So 13.33 comma 733 and 0.33. Now we have to change it into a sentence too. So what does that mean? So that means we can say just after 13 months, and we're going to say 13.33, the total cost of each service is $733.33. So with these word problems, we want to actually answer the question too, and answer it and say, well, when is that break-even point? What are these things that we're talking about? All right, let's check out this last one here too. So this says a couple of college students get the idea to open a snack stand at a regatta festival this summer. The students sell delicious soft pretzels. They pay the city $648 to set up their stand for the entire regatta. They also figure the cost for dough, coarse salt, and other things they need is 20 cents per pretzel. They sell each pretzel for $2.90. All right, so what are they doing? They're selling pretzels, right? So X equals number of pretzels. And they're trying to make money, so Y is going to be our total money. These equations should look familiar. These are going to be like a cost versus income. So what do they pay first? They pay $648 to set up, and they also have to pay $20 per pretzel to make them. All right, so not too bad. So let's go ahead and say, we can do this in blue. This is the cost that they have to pay. And you have Y equals 20 cents per pretzel, so 0.20x plus 648. They're paying that much money to get started. Then they're going to sell these, so they're going to make some money here. They're going to sell them for $2.90 per pretzel. All right, so again with this one, I would choose substitution. You could do either way though. Like I would just go ahead and put this in for Y up here. All right, so when we do this, I'm going to have 290x equals, and the other side we'll type in blue. All right, so then we have to remove those x's so that we have our variable only on one side. So remove this 20 cents times x. So we have to do that on the other side as well. So then I'm going to have 2.70 or 2.7x equals 648. And then we'll have to go ahead and divide. So divide by that 2.70. Your decimal is really important there. So if I made that decimal a little sloppy there, make sure that you do it well. That's going to be x equals, go ahead and divide that. And I get 240. So remember, x is number of pretzels. So they have to sell 240 pretzels. But what does that break-even cost? I'm going to go ahead and choose this equation because it has y isolated, and I only need to multiply to find that out. 290 times 240, and remember it's 2.9. So what is the break-even cost? 696. All right, so then we're going to write a sentence for that. We can say when we sell 240 pretzels and have $696, we will break even. So remember, that's going to mean that if we sell 241, we're going to start making money. But before that, we're not making money. So they've got to sell a lot of pretzels, and hopefully they do. All right, and hopefully this was helpful for you, and good luck studying. Look through your notes, read it, try the problems again. Use this video to help you. Don't use the video just to copy. Use it to, try a problem, then check it out. If you make a mistake, go back and correct it, and do well with it. You're going to do well.